definition.
Yeah, so by Friday, we want a problem definition. So that basically is just you're choosing the project, right? Because you have 3 choices. So, and then these are going to all apply to all 3 projects. So I tried to keep them broad.
Well, are we still doing 3 projects, or are we doing?
We're just doing one more.
Okay.
We're going to use this one and just finish it out.
Okay.
Give us more time.
You're going to choose which one you want to do.
Right.
Yeah, so I have 2 loaded, and then if you're doing your own, you'll have to just define that. But you'll follow this same calendar. Does that make sense?
Right, yeah.
So this is the calendar for all 3 options.
Okay.
So very similar to the last one, it does have, like, we're going to present pieces along the way. So that's just my way of managing it and making sure you're getting things done. And then same kind of presentation, you're just going to show us what you've done, right? Okay. So not this Friday, not on the problem definition, but then the brainstorm session, there's 3 pieces here: brainstorm, research, and possible solutions, all by the following Friday, which I think is pretty doable. So, and then you'll just share it, like what you're doing, where you're going, what the research is. It's, if others are doing the same project, then that'll be beneficial for all of us to just communicate about it. Okay. And then solution and design by the 10th. Calculations also by the 10th. And those may not be completely complete. So I'm just trying to, like, yeah, I'm trying to push us forward, but those might not be totally done. I get that, but at least you're thinking about it and heading in that direction. And then there's a prototype that I want to have cooking. That can be a computer generated prototype. That's okay. In the end, we want to build. We want to use the 3D printer to build, or wood, whatever, you know. We want an actual physical prototype in the end. All right. So I uploaded a bunch of photos of the mirror project, if anyone's doing that. And that information is here. I put in some loads: 50-pound wind load, 25-pound download, just somebody hanging on it or something. But not like a human hanging on it. That's kind of silly. So there's pictures with tape measure that probably give you enough to start, and then I wasn't sure anyone's going to do it, so I'll bring the truck in if somebody's going to head down that path. But we're looking at trying to make this, get rid of the whole attachment thing, right? This is the attachment you can buy to make them stick out there. And just have this be able to reposition, extend 12 inches or 10 inches or 8 inches. So I made it a 3-position thing, 8, 10, and 12 inches. From the factory, I should say factory position. Right, so there's that one. And then there's the schoolhouse, and the schoolhouse is here. And I uploaded an example. This is a kindergarten in Portland. It's a net zero structure. It was made by Green Hammer, which is a sustainable builder in Portland. So this is a good place to start if you're thinking about this project. It has a lot of information on this website. And then here's the information that I'm hoping to be collected into the design. It's a lot. So just like anyone, just like your employer, they could ask you to, like, do a lot, hoping you get a portion of it done. It's like when you put out a inquiry to hire somebody, you were going to put exactly what you want, right? And hopefully you get 80% of that kind of thing. So this is the same way. I just went through everything that we've done in the past. That would be super fun to design. Question?
A lot there too.
Huh?
You want a lot there too. See,
for parking, yeah. So I think there's room out. I was thinking about parking this morning. I'm like, well, we could make them park above the early childhood development center. That'd be fine too. But then I thought, I think there's room for parking in that space. So I was like, oh, okay. And then that sent me down the electrical vehicle charging station that would come from the solar system, which personally I think would be super.
They're gonna make enough electricity to charge a car?
So there's ways to do it.
Okay.
Right? So solar panels don't make that much electricity, right? But they make it consistently over long periods of time and you can collect it.
Right.
So then you could have a battery bank of storage for the electric vehicle charging station.
Yeah.
When that's up to charge, then that can be distributed to an electric vehicle at a higher rate and
Right.
charge a vehicle.
Right.
Or it could act as a trickle charger. In other words, you hook the vehicle up, it gives you 20 miles in the day. That's it.
Yeah.
It's not going to give you full charge for
Right.
sure. But as an electric vehicle owner, 20 miles sometimes is like a lifesaver. It's like, oh shit, I can get home if I can just get another 20.
Right.
So, yeah.
I just wonder if there would be an instance where, like, super busy day, everybody drives their electric car and depletes the bank. If somebody shows up.
Yeah, well, you'd want the bank separate from the home or separate from the schoolhouse for sure. And then some days it just might not be available. Like if you got 8 days of clouds in the winter, that charging station would be down, not available. So, and I only did 2 parking spots. Yeah, they can go over and pay.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd have this one
Right.
free.
Yeah.
You know, engineering students only kind of thing.
Right.
Tap into
Engineering
this
instructors
wire
only.
bars.
Yeah, right.
Tapping.
Yeah. So there you go. There's your 2 choices. And then the third one is yours. And you just want to make sure the third one, you know, is going to have everything, all of this information you want to be able to apply to the third one, which I think you can. And the one that.
Yeah, the only thing that is like, it's a pretty, like the mounting points on the tank, make it so that as far as like possible solutions go, it's kind of like the one, it's got it, I basically just need to move the mounting points to a place on the frame that would interact with the ones on the tank. So there's not a ton of like possible solutions. It's kind of like the one solution. That's the only thing that I can see on there that wouldn't
be as robust as doing it some other way.
I can make it like a really
and I don't,
gas tank,
you know,
but there's no purpose for that.
Yeah, I think that's okay.
Okay.
I think there is multiple possible solutions to this one, and of course, there's endless opportunities in this one to go in all kinds of directions.
Yeah.
So.
But I kind of felt like that way about the first project too. I was like, I already know what I want. I want to do a propeller. This is
no, that was super interesting on the first project to see the number of different directions people went. So, yeah.
I feel like that's usually how it goes. Like even when I was doing like the graphic design degree, like you have to do like draw up like different ideas and stuff. And as soon as I heard it, I was like, well, I already know. I'm gonna do this. I can come up with some other stuff. Show that I tried, but I already know what I want to do.
I think it's an okay thing as long as you're open to like
better ideas.
Staying open is really hard though when you get locked into something. Like I do quite a few projects for people and they always have some other idea than what the way I would do it. Like, oh, you want to cover your back porch? I know exactly how I do that. I've done 10 of those. Then you show up and all of a sudden they want a no shed roof. So that takes shed roof out. So they want a gable, but they don't want to attach to the roof because they don't want to compromise the roof. I'm like, wow, this has gone in a different direction than I would think. So.
Is that hard to do? Because I want to do that to my house.
Well, working with a customer, that's hard to do.
No, I just want to do it for myself. So I wouldn't have to please anybody with me.
It's not hard to do. And you have almost all the skill set needed, like as far as calculating the beams and rafters and
I've been drawing it up. We're looking at doing an add-on to our house right now. Drawing up the plans for that. But as I get further, I'm like, oh, I'm not like I'm trying to dimension everything out. Kind of the wall thickness or anything.
There's people that have views, they want to keep their view. So then you're going to put this thing up a little higher, but that just means the rain rarely falls straight down, it falls at an angle. So that means the rain's going to come in the higher you make it, right? And then they want a view, and then the rain and storm, if it comes from that direction, this is going to soak the whole patio, which you just have to make people aware of that. So the more shelter you get, the less view you get. So mine, I put on the back of my porch, I brought it down pretty low. And I have an okay view, but it definitely changed that view completely.
Yeah,
But in my opinion is you want the view, just walk out to the end and you can
Right.
see it. But I'd rather sit in there on a really rainy day and not be soaked.
Right.
So it, you know, it's like, oh, how do you want to do this?
Yeah.
Anyway. All right. Questions? Project 2. Overachievers can do 2 of them. Wow. That's crazy. I put everything in the calendar, hopefully on the right days, but problem definition here, brainstorm research, possible solutions here. It's gonna move quick, even though we're using it in the last 6 weeks, it's gonna go super fast. So you'll have to just get started and stay on it along with everything else you're doing. So